What's it like meeting Michael Emerson in the flesh?
It's kind of, you know, honestly, you're kind of creepy. I got not looks-wise, but like for me, every time I see him, I'm like, God, he's so good, and it like freaks me out.
I
so,
see.
Michael, do you watch the show on air?
I do.
Mm-hmm. On Wednesday nights?
I
every
do.
week?
Yeah. I enjoy it. I feel like it's a completion of the circle of my work.
Right.
That's my feedback. That's how I see the effect of the thing I've done. And it's informative for me too. You know, I like to see how it's cut, where I might spend more or less energy, or you know, things like that.
We find like there's this sort of beautiful amnesia that sets in because we write the script. And basically, we don't see the first cut of the show until probably like 3 or 4 weeks later. And by then, we've written like 2 more scripts. So by the time you see it, you're kind of like, what was this episode again? Like, why is Kate saving Ben's life?
And probably when the story is only in your head, it is inevitable that you will overwrite or over-explicate it in order to connect the dots. And then when you see it manifest on film, in all its richness and glory, then some of that material you had thought is no longer necessary.
Well, the cool thing about post is that that's where the interpretive role that the actors play comes, you know, really, you know, that's when we get to see what the actors have done. And so there are certain moments, again, we'll write a line and we'll have an expectation for it, but for instance, when we sat here in the editing room and we watched you deliver Got Any Milk, I mean, right back in the beginning of beginning of your role in the second season, it was like, oh my God, this guy is a keeper. I mean, like Michael Emerson is, from that moment forward, we kind of recognized how essential you were to the show, just because in that interpretation and everything that you brought to it, it so exceeded, I think, our expectations. I mean, that could have been corny and bad, and it was one of those lines you write and you think, well, if it's bad, it's cuttable, but ultimately it became utterly indelible, and lo and behold, you know, you became a regular on the show, and we never could imagine really the show without you at this point. I mean, so that all started with just seeing that little snippet in the editing room.
Well, I love that you let Ben occasionally be a kind of a wise guy. I think it's one of the things I hang on to about my part is that he does have a sense of humor, and he is occasionally droll, but he's not over interested in selling it either.
Right. Exactly.